Hi, I'm Jason,
And I'm Lizette, and this is a special Route 66 series of Curious Caravan.
where we follow the trail of the Mother Road and dig up stories you won't find on souvenir postcards.
From giant roadside creatures to ghost towns with attitude, we're exploring it all. So let's go.
Let's go. Welcome back to another episode of Curious Caravan, where we're continuing our journey along the historic Route 66, the Mother Road. I'm Jason.
And I'm Lizette.
And today we have two new special guests with us. We have Jack Zanger and Ronan Tattersall. Welcome, guys, to the show.
Hello,
Hello, hello.
great to be here.
Happy to be here.
Both Jack and Ronan were on our production as well for the Mother Road, Route 66, and are here to join us to talk about some fun insights on all the different locations they filmed at along the route. Today, we're going along a stretch that takes us from Missouri, Kansas, Oklahoma, and Texas, kicking it off at the Neon Museum in St. Louis. So, I mean, when you think of Route 66, I think, neon signs is like one of the big iconic picturography or like how you would see it. Like at the Neon Museum, I know that they collect both contemporary, they have retro signs. It's like a really cool collection of all of it. What was your takeaway, Jack? Ronan, feel free to jump in on this space.
Yeah, well, St. Louis, first of all, is a beautiful city, and we
Yes.
drove into it. I made sure the guys drove
Oh
in
yeah,
on the right route, and so you can see the arch when you're coming in at sunset and everything.
yeah, it
And
was a beautiful
then
sunset.
we got in right at sunset, so we got to this neon museum at the perfect time.
Perfect timing.
Just seeing the lights start to come on, and it was mostly the retro neon. I think most of the places these days have kind of the
Sure.
contemporary LED neon, not the real stuff.
Mhm.
But this museum was managed by a woman named Deborah, who is an
Mhm.
artist as well, a neon artist. So
Oh, wow.
she was great. Told us all about how they used to make neon and how she does her process now, and beautiful signs. I know there was a big blue rhino. I don't know what it was for, but it was absolutely spectacular to see. Just every wall just full of neon. And it actually got kind of hot in there while we
Yeah,
were interviewing her just because all the lights were on. So,
I would assume if all the signs are up, that might be a little bit warm. So,
it it
wear
it was
shorts.
interesting because usually those neon parks were all outside,
Hmm.
and the way Deborah had it set up was that it was just in this smaller building, so that all the glow from the lights were bouncing off people's faces and all across the different museum spots. And I thought that was a cool way of looking at it and kind of collapsing it all into this small space.
Yeah, because it's almost like an art gallery in a sense, like treating it that way,
Mhm.
where everything's set up like an exhibit and making it more of an inside. It's really neat because I guess I wouldn't have thought about that because, I know the other parks, they are outside. So some might not even think that it is a museum because it's just kind of like a bunch of signs on the street sometimes. I know the Blue Rhino stood out. Was there any other signs that you thought were pretty cool
She
at this
had all
spot
these
people should check
root
out?
she had all these clocks with
clocks.
neon
Ah,
Yeah, there
trim
were
all
cool
around them, all
clocks.
across this wall. And that's what I remember the most is you stand across from this big, wall of clocks. And I was like, where did you get all of these? And I loved her perspective as well because she actually worked with the neon. And so
Yeah.
once we warmed her up and got her out of her shell a little bit, she really gave us some, interesting insight.
I think the neon that you'll see in Springfield at the Neon Park, or at the other neon park we went to, and where's that, St. Robert maybe,
hmm.
they just, those were travel signs, and this place took that same medium, the neon, and most of the pieces were just really cool artwork. So you're not going to see anything like it anywhere else. This was really a cool gem.
I love being able to capture the neon and to just record some of these spots. I mean, that's kind of a cameraman's dream, right? That night
Of
sky
course.
with this bright
Yeah.
neon, the contrast of those things. So I really enjoyed it. And each place we went, it was a treat. Each one had something different and unique.
And you also said that Deborah was a neon artist. Did she have any of her own pieces in there?
I think she did. I could look back through my camera. I was taking
I,
pictures on
I
my
don't I
personal
don't quite
phone.
remember if she had any of her own there. I know she was working on something outside. She'd like wrapped flowers all around these neon wires.
Oh,
And it
that's
wasn't
cool.
quite finished yet, but I think it was like a wedding piece that she was trying to make.
Oh,
Very
neat.
spring and floral with this neon weaving through it. So
yeah.
definitely a practicing artist, and you could just tell that from the way she spoke about the neon.
Oh,
Wow.
it's really neat.
I'm gonna have to look her up after this.
Listen, if you're planning a wedding,
Yeah, use my discount
you
code.
know, go for
The affiliate link.
so I know on the next stop on the journey, we went to the Red Cedar Inn in Pacific, Missouri, which besides being called an inn is not an inn. It was actually never a hotel, but it opened in 1934. And I know it was more of like a restaurant tavern and stop along the way. And today it's got exhibits and, a lot of behind the scenes information on that period of time around that stretch of the route. What stood out to you about this place in particular?
I have one thing in mind, Jack. I don't know if you want to go first, but
No, go ahead,
this
Ronan.
is
Go ahead.
emotionally for the crew. I mean, this is an enormous spot for us because this is where we purchased 4 Route 66, almost like Hawaiian t-shirts that we would wear throughout the rest of the trip. So
That's right.
this is where we had skin in the game. This is where we bought into 66.
You became real Route 66
Yeah, and we met
travelers on this
Kelly,
route.
and Kelly was lovely as well. I mean, they have that antique bar in there where people used to stop through, all the, informative panels, and then all the knickknacks and all the little things you could buy. And for us, it was shirts, beautiful, beautiful shirts.
Yeah, I mean, there was a moment where some people on the crew thought maybe it was tacky, and other people thought it
Not
was
naming
bold.
names.
And we wore them the whole rest of the trip, or at
Tell
least
me
me
you're
and Ronan
wearing
did.
them right now.
I sure wish.
You
Have to
gotta
cinder to the road. You got to let it take you. And
Lean
this
in.
this was a part of that.
The
exactly.
the first trek, the first leg of the trip through Illinois was it felt like its own experience, and then
Sure.
suddenly we're in Missouri, and this felt like the Red Cedar Inn just felt like a whole welcome to the next leg of the journey, which was really cool.
Totally.
We
Yeah.
got those shirts, like Ronan said. We also got these little army men that we put on the dashboard of our Jeep that we were driving, and they represented us kind of going into the road. And it really was just a nice, quiet place. There's a small city, or not a city, a town nearby, and
Sure.
it felt like such a nice welcome to the next leg of the trip.
So definitely stop there, folks. If
Well,
it's
it's an official roadside attraction for
yes,
66 as well. It's got the signage out front, and Kelly's just has a wealth of information and joy that she has about the road. And so being able to listen to her, and she'll point you in the right direction for things and even give you some little hints at, things most people might not find.
Wow.
Definitely worth it.
There's
Yeah,
history
and-
too, all over the walls of the Red Cedar, and just, years and years of history documents showing you all the people that passed through there. And yeah, I don't think we realized it at the time because it was so early in our trip, but we would see the things that were mentioned over and over, and
Yeah.
they just carried through the whole way.
Wow.
Well, I
And
would guess also if as an official tavern and restaurant stop, people would refuel there quite often. So I'm sure there was a lot of people stopping there on a regular basis. But that's really awesome. Yeah, definitely. It seems like it's good to stop in there if you want to get, the best insight on where to go next. Now, this next place needs no real explanation, but I know
boy.
you guys headed to St. Robert, where you got to take a trip to the very colorful Uranus Fudge Factory. But I'm assuming this place was a lot of fun to visit and tour around, and it seems that the workers there were really revel in all of it as well.
Well, it definitely wasn't subtle.
No subtlety here. But was the fudge good is the question.
Oh, the fudge was so
Oh,
good. It
yeah,
was packed
very
so
good.
tight, and it was nutty and creamy all at the same time. It was delicious fudge from Uranus.
Oh, yes. Yes.
You teed him up.
But that's what they do.
I did.
That's
I
their
mean,
whole
thank you,
thing.
Jack. He
did.
took the runway. And he flew on it right down it.
They do not miss an opportunity to make those jokes when you're there. When you walk in the door, they say, "Hello, welcome to Uranus." And when you're ordering the fudge, they ask if you want it loose or tight packed in a box. And when you're at the payment, when you're going to pay, they ask you to swipe Uranus or tap Uranus, and they never get tired of it. It's hysterical.
So listen, folks, if you're prudish at all, this may not be the stop for you. But if you've got an open mind, it is the place to, have a little fun.
And
Was
look,
there any
we're
like,
hardworking professionals, right? So all fun aside, there was a job to be done, and we were able to capture a very interesting and very unique part of this area. And they had some cool neon as well. The knickknacks throughout the shop were fantastic. And you just loved that everybody had a smile on their face.
Oh yeah,
Everybody
such
was
nice people.
really happy to pull that joke on you. And I think that's nice if you're going through the road, right? You just get out of the car. We don't know how long you've been driving, but you show up and somebody's there waiting to make you smile.
Now, was there any flavors of fudge that you tried that you think were standouts that people must try while they're there?
I mean, they have all sorts of stuff, and it's all their own. And they have a movie that they made called
Oh my,
Uranus
yeah, the
Attacks,
movie.
and
They
so we
have
put
a.
that on for the drive.
Yeah, Bobby made sure we bought the movie.
Oh my
You
goodness.
got to support local artists.
Even the music inside their place, it's all original, and it's all stuff you're not going to see anywhere else. It's quirky and it's funny, and it is a little abrasive, but it's definitely worth it.
It's a fun detour, folks, along the historic route. It's interesting because the whole theme of it, you would almost think it wouldn't be out of place in like a Roswell kind of situation with its whole space theme. But moving on from Uranus, I know in St. Robert's you also went to another neon park, the City of St. Robert Neon Park. But this one, as opposed to being inside, was like an open air museum that you can drive through, correct?
Yeah, yeah, it's nestled right in between the highway. So you got cars on both sides of you, and it just lights up the sky. Really pretty. I don't know how many signs there are, but there are a lot. You can walk for quite a ways back and forth looking at the signs.
Now, some of these signs were recreations, right? But some of them were actually like signs that were on various businesses
Yeah,
from the route that were
yeah,
relocated here.
and they'd pulled them and gathered them here at this park. I really like the drive-through factor that you can pass
Yeah.
by, and it really catches your eye, especially at night. And they're all high up on these poles, so it just draws your eye to the sky, and that silhouette or the image of those. Again, it's just you're on the road, and you always think of neon.
Yeah.
And to be there and to see them collected in these places like this, you just get this nice solid spot to feel the advertising of the time and what caught people's eye.
It's one of those things that sends you back in time. You can't explain it, but when you're looking at it, you
Sure.
just go, wow, this was there before, and this is what they saw while they were driving. This got them excited.
Mhm.
It really does something to you that you just have to see.
And makes sense why Missouri stretches the neon highway with all of the neons along the way. So moving on from Missouri, we're moving into Kansas, which Kansas is actually a very small stretch of Route 66, 13 miles. But it's worth making a stop there because there's the really cool Cars on the Route in Galena, which is actually what inspired the Pixar car movies. It used to be a service station there. So that had to have been fun because I know that they've like recreated a lot of the characters from the Cars movie.
Honestly, the coolest thing about that place was the people. The people that run that place are awesome, and they're so down to earth. And you said the stretch of Kansas is only 13 miles and it goes quick. Well,
Mm.
the woman that greeted us at this service station, her name was Melba the Mouth Rig. And if you
Oh.
thought this stretch of Kansas was quick, the way that she talked was even quicker. She would talk like this all real fast, and she'd explain it all those and just
Like,
went
what?
on
Start
and
over. Hold on.
on.
I'm
Had
not
the
even
whole
rolling.
history of the place because it's associated with their family, and oh man, was she entertaining! Just an absolutely joy to get to talk to her.
So for Cars in a Show, go meet Melba.
I think we
About Route
saw
66.
there was a fire truck, the fire truck from Cars. There
Mhm.
was the original Mater
Yeah, Tow Mater.
and the
Yeah.
Mater.
I mean,
Yeah.
I must have watched that movie 30 times in preparation for the shoot. So to go here was a treat for me.
But you get to learn all these little things. Like not only was it the place that inspired Cars, but the character of Mater was inspired by a real person who was double jointed in his knees and ankles and could turn his legs around and walk backwards. And so that played into the fact that he can drive backwards in the movie. And just all these cool little Easter eggs that only the people that know there and have been there and, lived their lives along this route, seen people come and go. They are the true gems of these places. And that was really cool.
Now you can watch Cars with a whole new perspective. So moving out of Kansas very quickly, we're now into Oklahoma. And I know that you stopped in Miami, and that's Miami, Oklahoma, not Miami, Florida. But I know you stopped at Wayland's Cuckoo Burger, which is a really popular joint along the way, which, as I've mentioned before, it seems burgers are the staple of Route 66. So how was it? Was it worth the hype that everyone talks about?
100%. Wayland's Cuckoo Burger was a delicious burger. I think, I said earlier maybe we tried 10 burgers in the first 12 days, and for good reason. All the burgers, if they say that they're the best on the route, it's going to be a good burger. Obviously, you're going to have your favorites, but I think Wayland's might have been mine.
You can have more than one best. There's so many different places along the route. They all have their own quirks. I know also in Oklahoma, you stopped near Chelsea to the really, really cool Ed Galloway's Totem Pole Park, which I know that was a park that was
Mm-hmm.
created by an American sculptor and a wood carver and folk artist, Ed Galloway. And they're all these really unique, super cool totem poles. What did you think of the place?
I mean, that was another spot where we were just, and this happened so many times on the trip where it just felt like a little bit of serendipity might not be the right word, but we showed up right when the sun was beginning to go down into golden hour. And you see these
Oh,
Oh, wow.
gorgeous, massive totems rising into the sky with just such culture and heritage all over them. It's just one of those pretty moments, where you get to appreciate the culture of what's there on the road.
Yeah, I'll also say this spot especially felt like just such a relaxing spot to be. When you're on the road, we were on the road for 3 weeks, and we heard of people that take 2 months to do the route, and we heard of people that take
mhm.
3 days to do the route. And
Wow.
it just taking the time to really appreciate these beautiful places and the beautiful artwork like this, it was relaxing. And not just because we were, in a car and driving from spot to spot and going. It was nice. I mean, there was birds singing, and you really felt an appreciation for the culture, and it definitely worth the stop, especially just to relax and take in the beauty that's
Mhm.
around you.
So if you really want some good ambience, go at sunset. Adds to the flavor of the place.
Note.
I know on the way out of Oklahoma, you stopped at the infamous blue whale of Catoosa, which is legitimately a big cartoonish looking blue whale at a swimming hole. I know that it was built by a zoologist named Hugh Davis for his wife. The swimming hole was for his grandchildren. Was there anything really cool about this spot beyond just being a fun photo op?
It's just so unexpected. Somebody built
Big
a
blue
huge
whale.
whale out of a pond. And then you get there and it's just charming and nice. I mean, it was a little bit under renovation while we were there.
Sure.
As I think they're
Hmm.
getting ready for the centennial next year. Or is that this year?
This
Yeah.
year.
This year.
This
Wow.
year.
Yeah.
Time has flown.
Yeah,
But we were,
it's
yeah.
cute, it's kitschy. It reminded me of the pink elephant that we saw in
In
Illinois.
Illinois.
You
So
couldn't climb
stop
this
by the
one.
blue whale.
No, Bobby wouldn't let me climb.
Ah, man.
No
Bobby
fun.
being responsible.
I know.
Speaking of Bobby, I know at our next spot, which is our grand finale of this leg of Route 66, I know you guys stopped at the Big Texas Steak Ranch in Amarillo, which is known for its 72-ounce steak challenge, where you have to eat an entire 72-ounce steak along with a baked potato and salad.
Ooh,
But I know Bobby took this challenge.
He sure did.
gosh.
How did that go?
Ugh.
I mean, this place looks just fun regardless in terms of the atmosphere. And I know that it's got the really cool gift shop attached to it. And you can actually stay there because there's a hotel, but also an RV park. But there's got to be a story here of how that went down.
I feel for Bobby in this one because we talked about it for days leading up to it. It was something he wanted to do. Everybody on the road knows about this steak challenge. So we bring it
Mhm.
up to people. They're like, "No, you gotta eat it slowly." And then the next person's like, "No, you gotta eat it fast, or you gotta take big bites and small bites." And it's like everybody's giving him all this different information, and it's building the tension and building the hype. And then you get in there, and in the episode they said it perfect. It's like a steak theater, and then
Yeah.
everybody's looking at you, and everything's going on, and
No pressure.
it's like half the cow. It's a massive piece of meat. I was shocked when they put it on the burner to cook it.
How far did we make it?
I think he was about 7 or 8 minutes in and 7 or 8
That
bites
was that.
in.
Yeah.
He was brave and he gave it a good effort, but I think it was just too
Left comes
much.
fast.
Listen, and I'm not one to judge. There's no way I could ever do
Oh,
that.
I could never. I could never. It'd
Mm-mm.
take me 3 days.
There's a competitive eater, I think maybe a week later, who did it in less than 10 minutes or something, and
Oh
that
my
just blows my
God.
mind.
I ate a petite filet and I'm like, I'm good, thanks.
Yeah,
I can't
right.
imagine the
That's all right. No
72.
dessert. That's okay.
I mean, there was someone else that wanted to do the challenge too, as we were getting ready to leave. And so I don't know that, if you go there, you'll necessarily see someone do it, but everyone wants to try it.
Godspeed.
The
food in
food, the
general
other
is good.
food
We
was
did enjoy a really
amazing.
nice meal.
Excellent Texas meal. And it's
I don't-
Texas to a capital T. It is
Oh,
great.
yeah.
So if you're
It's so
up
good.
for a challenge and want to end your leg of Route 66 in Texas, this is the place. Well, one thing I just wanted to reflect on, just in comparison, and this is something we asked Bobby previously,
Mhm.
was Illinois had a very, very distinct flavor in terms of its leg of Route 66 and how it was identified. How do you compare this leg of the route to Illinois?
It's kind of like if you're going into the tunnel, you can still kind of see the light behind you, but you're entering into and you're starting to be surrounded by these experiences and you're kind of falling into the feeling of the road. And that's what it felt like for us, right? Because we'd only been on the road for a couple days. You're not deep until you get into kind of Oklahoma, Texas, New Mexico, that middle portion. So it still felt early. We're still getting a feel for things and taking it all in.
With the scenery, the people start to change too. And, you're driving through Missouri and it's like, oh, these people are in the Ozarks land almost. And then you get into Oklahoma and that's a bit of Kansas. And now you're in Texas and everyone is like our own people. They have those cultural differences that I don't really know that I can explain, but that you just have to experience. And they're proud of where they're from and they're proud to share where they're from with the travelers.
Well, thank you so much, Jack and Ronan, for joining us on this special episode of Curious Caravan for Route 66. This will wrap up this leg of the journey, but next time we'll be hitting up New Mexico, which will be really, really exciting. And thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you, guys.
Thanks for joining us on this adventure. We hope you enjoyed the journey as much as we did.
Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review Curious Caravan on your favorite podcast platform. It helps more curious minds like you find us.
And if you're hungry for more, follow us on social for extra content and behind-the-scenes sneak peeks.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep being curious, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Curious Caravan.